Angie's List is now Angie, and getting your to-do list done just got easier. Between back to school and with the holidays around the corner, it can feel like there's no time to tackle home projects. Whether you need help with emergency repairs or major upgrades, Angie matches you with top local pros who can get the job done right. Browse reviews, see upfront pricing, and instantly book hundreds of projects. Save time for what matters most. Book your next project at Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
The big break we've been waiting for? Cops swooped down on the swampland where Brian Laundrie was last seen. And is this what he looks like now?
He's probably going to be clean shaven and he's going to have too much sun.
Then, chaos in the streets.
Right in front of City Hall.
Were they deliberately humiliating the police officer? And
let the game begin.
Squid Game sensation.
Red light.
The #1 show in the world.
Green light.
It's quite violent.
It's one of the best shows I've seen.
And more sensational revelations from Melania Trump's chief of staff in her daring new book.
I was profoundly disappointed in Mrs. Trump that day.
Then, Sweet Revenge by the world's most beautiful golfer. Plus, the gift of life that allowed this bride to walk down the aisle. And wait till you hear who is at her side. And Chippendales reunion.
Hey, Inside Edition, we are the original Chippendales.
They're back together to talk about the time when they were hot stuff.
Not bad for an old man.
Now, Inside Edition with Deborah Norville.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Is there a new lead in the Brian Laundrie manhunt? Just days after the search of a Florida nature reserve was being scaled back today, there was a lot of activity at the swampland. Stephen Fabian has more.
Could this be the break the whole country has been waiting for? Police today suddenly swooped down on the Florida swampland in the hunt for Brian Laundrie. Drones flew over the 25,000-acre Carlton Reserve, and cops were seen scouring the swamp from the ground. The new search began after Laundrie's embattled parents changed their story about when they last saw him. They first told the FBI he went hiking in the Florida swamp on September 14th, but their attorney now claims there was a misunderstanding and he went missing the previous day. We now believe the day Brian left was Monday, September 13th, he said. Former U.S. Marshal Lenny DePaul says that's a significant development.
24 hours is a lifetime to a fugitive investigator. You get a jump start one day. That's a lot. The parents have been all over the place with when he got back home and when he left and what he did, so they need to be consistent.
More of Laundrie's sister's interview ran today on ABC, and she says she was stunned when Brian returned to Florida without Gabby.
My jaw could have hit the floor. The first thought in my head was, oh, they must have broken up and he doesn't want to talk about it and I'll give him space. And then he went missing.
There is growing speculation that Laundrie may have changed his appearance. Forensic artist Lois Gibson showed me how America's Most Wanted man might look now.
It's hard to eat, so he's going to lose weight. I'd say 10, maybe 10 pounds, maybe even 12, 15. He's going to be sun damaged. He's going to be wearing a ball cap and he's probably going to be wearing sunglasses.
He could be out there wearing a COVID mask and totally hiding his face.
That mask, they really hide a lot.
Meantime, Gabby's family just announced their first fundraiser for the Gabby Petito Foundation, which helps families of missing ones. It'll be held October 17th near the town of New York, where Gabby grew up. More chaos in the streets, this time in Philadelphia, where Les Trent says some guys decided the best place to do some stunt driving was right in front of City Hall.
Pandemonium in the streets. It looks like a scene from a Fast and Furious movie. Muscle cars doing donuts, a dangerous stunt. A brazen act of lawlessness that happened right in front of City Hall in Philadelphia. What makes it even more outrageous? A police officer finds himself trapped and humiliated as one car wildly circles around his. You see the officer inside, helpless, as bystanders jump on the hood of the vehicle. Fireworks are even set off. While all this was happening, traffic came to a standstill. Fox News sees this as another sign of lawlessness in the USA.
Lawlessness, craziness, disintegration.
This is evidence of the insanity. Tire marks still visible in the shadow of the historic City Hall. Police are investigating the incident, which happened over the weekend, and they say it is an ongoing problem.
It's a phenomenon seen across the USA. Pop-up sideshows that draw big crowds. On the big screen, it's a controlled setting. But on the streets of Philly, it's crazy dangerous.
Out in Santa Rosa, California, officials are proposing a city-sanctioned event where drivers can do stunts like that, but in a controlled environment. Now the sensation on Netflix, a crazy show from South Korea that's really striking a chord here in the States. Jim Murray explains the Squid Game mania that's hit America.
Green light. Red light.
It's the most disturbing rendition of the children's game, Red Light, Green Light, you will ever see. Netflix's new hyper-violent smash hit series, Squid Game, is now the #1 show on Netflix.
It's violent, it's dark, and it's on track to become the most watched Netflix show of all time.
The dystopian TV show out of South Korea shows down-on-their-luck adults competing in children's games.
You will be playing red light, green light.
But to the death.
It's quite violent.
It's violent, but it's amazing.
People really like it.
Now the global phenomenon is inspiring thousands of social media Squid Game challenges. This YouTuber takes on the deadly cookie challenge. Using a sewing needle, she carves a shape into the cookie. On the Netflix show, if the cookie crumbles, the contestant dies.
I'm sorry. Don't do it, sir. Please don't.
And in this YouTube video, a family takes on the red light, green light challenge. Squid Game is also turning into this Halloween's hottest costumes.
It's different, it's unique, it's telling a story of haves and have-nots. So people are checking it out, and I think they're surprised. I don't think they're expecting the kind of ultra-violence that they get.
The creator of Squid Game says he was turned down by different studios for 10 years because the show was thought to be too unrealistic. That nurse who made history when she became the first American to get the COVID vaccine is back in front of the cameras. This time she's getting her booster shot.
She's leading the way again. New York nurse Sandra Lindsay, who was the first person in the U.S. to get the COVID vaccine back in December 2020, got a booster shot today. We spoke to her right after.
I felt really good, energized.
Comedian Kathy Griffin also got her COVID booster. In fact, she got a double whammy, the booster and her flu shot all at once, writing on Instagram. Third Moderna shot and a flu shot. Yes, fear me.
Frankly.
And ESPN anchor Sage Steele is off the air, suspended for speaking out about the sports channel's vaccine mandate.
I didn't want to do it, but I work for a company that mandates it. And
During a podcast, she says she felt forced to get the shot.
To mandate it is sick. Mm-hmm. And it's scary.
Now, ESPN has suspended the longtime SportsCenter anchor for a week, saying in a statement, "We embrace different points of view. That said, we expect that those points of view be expressed respectfully in a manner consistent with our values and in line with our internal policies."
I think I was shooting.
Ms. Steele is now apologizing, saying she's sorry for creating a controversy for ESPN. She is the second ESPN reporter in a month to publicly question the network's vaccine mandate. Now that tell-all book from a White House staffer who worked both for President Trump and the First Lady. Stephanie Grisham's book is definitely making waves, and she minces no words about just how tough it was to work at the White House. Here's more of her conversation with Les Trent.
Stephanie Grisham's book, I'll Take Your Questions Now, is causing quite a stir.
How have you been handling all of this personally?
It's been hard. I'm not going to lie. It's been difficult.
She says working for President Trump was like being in an abusive relationship.
When you are abused, all you want is for your abuser to be happy. And Donald Trump was very much that way. There were a couple of times I was frightened.
When Grisham had to quarantine after being exposed to COVID, she got a call from Trump.
He'd call me while I was at home, how are you, honey? You sound horrible. You stay home. You take care of yourself. Do whatever it takes. And then I got back and I went into the Oval and he just turned to me and said, where the F have you been? I've been alone. You're worthless.
Wait a minute. This is after you came back from COVID?
Yes.
Grisham was at the famous summit in 2019 when Trump met with Vladimir Putin. She believes Putin deliberately used this beautiful Russian translator to distract the president.
She was a very attractive brunette woman, and Putin went out of his way to introduce her to President Trump, which was not normal. And then at the time, former President Trump talked to her a few times, and I had never seen him, nor did I ever see him ever talk to one of the translators.
It all came to a head for Grisham on January 6th when she urged Melania Trump to denounce the Capitol Hill riots. Melania said no, so Grisham quit.
I was profoundly disappointed in Mrs. Trump that day. I just still don't understand why she said no. She, for me, had always been kind of the rational one.
Grisham says the release of her book has her on edge.
Are you concerned about your safety after writing this book?
Yes, I have been. I received messages that you wouldn't even believe. And in fact, I told my publisher that I didn't want to do book signings because I was fearful of people.
Ms. Grisham's book is among the top 10 sellers on Amazon. Weddings are always emotional events, but this wedding in particular was especially poignant.
A beautiful bride is ready for her big moment, but that's not her father walking her down the aisle. He's the father of another young woman who, in a remarkable way, is responsible for making this wedding possible. His name is Daniel Donnelly. 5 years ago, his daughter Heather lost her life in a car accident. Thanks to her selfless spirit, Heather's body was harvested for organs, and a total stranger, Diana Donnarumma Crayer, received a life-saving small and large intestine transplant.
They told me they had the perfect match. She was only 1 year older than I was. She was about to get married, and she was this incredible person.
When Diana called her organ donor's father to thank him for the gift of life, she learned Heather had died right before her own wedding. Her father never had the chance to walk her down the aisle. That's when Diana asked him to be a very special part of her wedding.
I asked Dan if he would want to walk me down the aisle at my wedding. He said yes, and that he would be honored.
And that is how Daniel Donnelly came to be at Diana's side on the day of her wedding. Daniel shares a hug with the bride's father, and then with the bride. Thank you. Then Diana's father takes over and completes the walk down the aisle. The ceremony, picture perfect. Heather was also there in spirit. That's her framed photo in a position of honor.
I had a great time at that wedding. It was a blast. I was watching Diana on the dance floor dancing it up and picturing my daughter out there doing the same thing.
A bride whose big day was made possible thanks to a young woman she never met who gave her the gift of life.
Every day, I live my life to try to honor this amazing person who saved my life.
What a beautiful story. Right now, there are about 107,000 people on a waiting list for a life-saving organ donation.
Next, Chippendales reunion.
Hey, Inside Edition, we are the original Chippendales.
They're back together to talk about the time when they were hot stuff.
Not bad for an old man.
Then, Sweet Revenge by the world's most beautiful golfer.
Oh!
And here comes the ring bearer. Oh no! Inside Edition with Deborah Norville. We'll be right back.
Not only do Drew and Jonathan Scott, also known as the Property Brothers, have the #1 home design show on TV, they also have their hit mobile game, Property Brothers Home Design, where renovations can actually be fun and relaxing. Join millions of others who are enjoying beating the game's puzzles, earning coins, and helping Drew and Jonathan Scott design all types of dream spaces. Download Property Brothers Home Design. Go to Apple or Google's App Store and search for Property Brothers and download Property Brothers Home Design for free. Unleash your creativity. Design stunning bedrooms and kitchens and even outdoor spaces. Travel to locations around the world and create one-of-a-kind designs. Plus, learn real design tips as you play through each episode. Start designing today. Download Property Brothers Home Design, the #1 home design puzzle game. Just go to Apple or Google's App Store and search for Property Brothers and download Property Brothers Home Design for free today.
A new series on Discovery Plus is shedding light on the Chippendales, who gave American women the chance to ogle good-looking male dancers. We reunited some of the men who blazed the Chippendales trail.
Hey, Inside Edition, we are the original Chippendales.
Back in the 1980s, Chippendales took the USA by storm. Women flocked to clubs to ogle shirtless hunky dudes, dancing and gyrating. Chippendales became a pop culture phenomenon. Who could forget this hilarious skit on Saturday Night Live with the late Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley? Roger was an original Chippendale. He started when he was 25. He worked there for 17 years. Now 66 years old, he's still got the moves.
I got $1.
Today, he is a fitness trainer for seniors and the elderly. Another original member, Dustin. Can you believe he's now 72? The actor is still haunted by one particular wardrobe malfunction.
I did get my G-string cut off once.
Michael joined the group in 1981. He worked at Chippendales for 20 years. Now at age 65, he runs a boutique in Arizona with his wife.
The women were aggressive. You had everything. I mean, you were asked out, you were offered money, you were, just about anything you wanted, you could have.
Dan was just 21 years old when he became a Chippendale.
I remember turning around to see
we were being chased.
Thousands of women chasing down the street.
The Beatles. We were like the Beatles.
And we just turned around and ran. And it was one of those things that my heart started to pound.
And Kevin was a fresh-faced model out of college. He was hired for his good looks.
I wasn't a good dancer, but I was like, they put me on the air freshener.
He now owns a landscaping company in Los Angeles. The men are part of the docuseries Curse of the Chippendales, now streaming on Discovery Plus. Whenever these guys get together, old habits are hard to break. Somehow their shirts can't stay buttoned for long.
Not bad for an old man.
Not bad indeed. Up next, sweet revenge for the golfer known for her sexy social media posts.
Angie's List is now Angie, and getting your to-do list done just got easier. Between back to school and with the holidays around the corner, it can feel like there's no time to tackle home projects. Whether you need help with emergency repairs or major upgrades, Angie matches you with top local pros who can get the job done right. Browse reviews, see upfront pricing, and instantly book hundreds of projects. Save time for what matters most. Book your next project at Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Golfer Paige Spiranac sometimes gets more attention for her looks than her game, but with a single shot, she is silencing her critics.
Golfer Paige Spiranac is proving she's more than just a pretty face. She just posted this video taking a swing.
Shot.
Wait for it.
Going.
Wait for it. It's a hole-in-one. Paige posted the moment with the message, and the video proved, knowing her naysayers wouldn't believe it. After all, the 28-year-old is seen by many as a sexy influencer more than an athlete. But numbers don't lie. Paige is the most followed golfer on Instagram with 3.2 million followers. That's more than Tiger Woods. Now, she's relishing in her sweet revenge.
Great job. Up next, a ring bearer oops. The ring bearer becomes the ring dropper.
An adorable ring bearer is ready for his big moment. He presents the ring on a pillow. Then, he drops it. It falls through the deck. Time to make a quick getaway.
And that's why you give kids the fake ring. See you tomorrow.